Tucker Carlson calling it child abuse for kids to wear masks. It's engaging this evangelical base, this anti-science base, they often overlap, on a very grassroots level. And I think it's a clear way to engage people in politics. When you're saying it's child abuse, it's part of why people were drawn to QAnon, right? It sounds like the kids are being abused. You have to go after the elites. It really is, from my perspective, a way to get people involved in politics on a level that is so emotional to them. And so now if you're going to your local PTA meeting, you know what you're also probably doing? You're probably voting for a Republican politician on the state level. You're probably doing everything you can, protesting, voting for Republicans on the federal level as well. What's your take there?
The difficult thing about it is that it is presented in a way that gives them a sense of righteousness, and they feel like they're on the right side. It ties into that, like you said QAnon. It ties into the idea that they're saving the children. I think there is a level of intentionality in what is promoted, and I want to be specific here. These conspiracy theories require financial support. These conspiracy theories are not so popular that they're able to break through the algorithm themselves. A lot of these conspiracy theories have funding behind them. Isn't it ironic that none of the conspiracy theories ever come to a conclusion that is ever a threat to capital, that is ever a threat to power, that is ever a threat to the people who are actually engaging in our system in a way that could be detrimental to our children? It's always something that is a sleight of hand, like a chimera, something to go, a red herring, to go and chase this boogeyman. Meanwhile, the real villain has always been underneath the mask that the kids, the pesky kids from Scooby-Doo. It's always the real life person. Who's
no pun intended about the masks. Exactly. No pun intended about the masks, Ben, right?
So there you go.
Yeah. So to me, it's just like the next cultural conspiracy that they're trying to get people involved in. It was gay marriage, it was trans rights, that's right, people coming over the border, and now it's, your kids are being suffocated in schools.
It is always a sleight of hand, right? It is the war on Christmas. They get so mad about the imaginary war on Christmas that they literally are ready to risk their lives over it. This is the masterwork of Republican propaganda. They have a way of and this is exactly what you hit on. Those people who show up to the school board meetings are more likely to vote Republican, right? Because they have created a derangement and a conspiracy theory that is never a threat to Republican or conservative power. It's never a threat to capital. It's never a threat to the oligarchs. It is always a threat to reason and ration and logic, right? Even to the self-preservation. So we're dealing with people who have created the perfect narrative to get people engaged in politics in the exact opposite way than they should. And that's what we've been seeing across the country with these mass protests.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to me because, like, Republicans always will, they in this sense, they're not necessarily that focused on getting everybody vaccinated so that capital is protected. They're seeing it more of as a long-term strategy where if we engage our base on this level, then we can further deregulate the state. We can further give tax cuts, and it's fine if, temporarily things have to take a hit because people aren't vaccinated. And also, I mean, when you have Republican governors, it doesn't matter. They're pushing people back to work anyway. So they think they can have their cake and eat it too when it comes to the financial ramifications of the pandemic for them.
It's funny. I believe they think that they have enough bodies to go through and grind through the dust, grind to the dust, and still be able to hit their quarterly profit margins. They don't see losing 1 million people as a threat to their business plan. They see 30 million people being able to, or whatever number of people being able to stay home to protect themselves from the pandemic as a threat to their business plan. And so their cost benefit analysis really says we can sacrifice X number of human beings in order to maintain our quarterly profit margins during the pandemic. And I believe the government, the United States government, is complicit step by step with that, that cost benefit analysis.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.